Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of Dave Matthews Band. If this is the first time listening to the podcast and maybe the first time hearing Dave Matthews Band started in 1991 in Charlottesville, Virginia, and the guys in the band have just not stopped. We are celebrating 35 years this year in 2026, and we're so excited to still be on this ride with this band that we love so much. So, of course, as you can imagine, with 35 years, Dave Matthews Band has picked up quite the fan squad all over the world, and that's what this podcast is about. Each episode, a fan of Dave Matthews Band comes on the show to share their why. Why do they love this music? Why do they continue to listen? And how in the world did they find it? With fans from the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and now 2020s, we have 4 decades of time for people to find the music. I've had people under the age of 10 on the show, people 60, 70 years old on the show. There is no age for Dave Matthews Band. And so again, that is what I'm trying to document, is the fan journey behind this music. So of course, this episode is no different than every single one. We have guests, not one, but 2 guests on the show today. It's a 2-for-1. I'm excited for my guests to introduce themselves. Tell us who you guys are, where in the world are you, and tell us something cool about you.
I'm Coby Boswell. I'm from Huntsville. I am originally from here, and despite much to her dismay, I'm a big Alabama fan. So
I know, I was going to say, where's Huntsville? People aren't going to know where Huntsville is. Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama is North Alabama. You know, everybody knows where Huntsville is. What are you talking about? Everybody knows where the Space and Rocket Center and Space Camp is. And oh my God. Well, if you don't, then you ought to go check it out, because everybody comes to Space Camp here in Huntsville. So
really, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually. So I remember as a kid going to Atlanta and somebody asking me that about Space Camp there. Everywhere you go, I get asked that question.
Oh.
So I'm Taylor Dingus. I live here in Huntsville, Alabama. I was not born here, but I was raised here my entire life. And also, yes, we are known for Space Camp. I spent 7th and 8th grade living overseas, and the school where I was, they were actually sending people over here to go to Space Camp. So,
wow, I've really missed out. Like I would have never guessed there was Space Camp in Alabama, because I'm aware of Florida and Texas, having like the NASA stuff, but Alabama, I had no clue. So I'm missing out.
There's
a movie
that designed it and programmed all the stuff and then sent it to Houston to monitor it.
Well, look at Alabama. Another reason to be envious of your state. Not only are you good at college sports, but you got the whole Space Camp thing going on too.
That's right. Exactly. It's crazy, right?
I love Bama. And, Alabama is famous because of a movie, not the Space Camp movie, but I always think of Forrest Gump, of course.
Yes.
What is it? Greenbow, Alabama, or Green something, Alabama.
Which is not even a real town.
Is it a real town? Not even a real town. Of course not. Well, Forrest Gump, he had a way to say Alabama in his fake accent. I think he did pretty good. But I have to say, y'all's accents are completely different. Do you know that?
Between the
us? Yes. I have to say,
I'm
Coby,
originally from Hawaii.
She's been all over the place. So hers is probably a lot less strong.
I'm Hawaiian Southern.
Hawaiian. Well, Hawaii is very Southern, right? So... Well, I'm so excited you guys are on the show. I know that we have just been trying to get you on, and here we are. And so I'm so excited to hear y'all's journey. So, someone may ask, well, how do you do 2 at 1? Well, this is the fun part about having 2 people on at the same time, is we talk with each person separately to get their before we met each other's story, and then we'll hook up in the middle. And once they have met in the story, then we'll move forward in our Dave journey. So the question is, who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about the first time they ever heard of Dave Matthews Band?
Okay, I'll go first. So I guess so I graduated high school a really long time ago. It was in 97. So my dad gave me my first Dave CD. I think I was a sophomore in high school. It was Under the Table and Dreaming. And it
Yeah.
came in one of the, everybody was ordering the CDs from
BMG,
what was
Columbia
it?
House.
Yes, all of those. So he had, gotten the 99 cent whatever. And that was one of the CDs. And he was like, hey, check this out. And I was like, sure. And of course, immediately fell in love and had been, they had the MTV, had the video. I think it was
Oh,
What Would
yeah.
You Say? And then Ants and all of that. And so that was when I first fell in love with them. And then after that, after high school, I discovered, oh my gosh, they've got another CD that I didn't know about, which was Remember Two Things.
Oh,
And of
yeah.
course, spent hours staring at the CD cover, right? Trying to figure out what the hell is on the cover of this thing.
Right. Because they say if
So
you stare at it long enough, like you'll see something, but I don't
I never
see
saw it.
I saw spots.
Yeah.
You know,
And I don't even
I
know if
think that's
that's
why I
true.
wear glasses now, is because I stared at that thing too long.
Yes. Yes.
But my very first apartment, I remember I had the six disc CD changer.
You were cool.
Yeah, I was balling. And but all I'd ever had in it was Dave, and that's what I fell asleep to every night.
Wow.
I
What were
was
you listening to before you heard of Dave Matthews Band? Like, what were you listening to in the 90s? Because me
gosh,
and you graduated
Nirvana.
high school the same year. 97 was the year I graduated as well. So I'm trying to
Okay.
think back. And yes, Nirvana, definitely. Who
Okay,
else were you listening
so
to?
Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was into that whole scene.
Stone Temple Pilots,
Yes,
Heck
God.
yeah.
I mean,
STP.
that was the decade
Dinosaur Jr.
for fantastic music. It was
It
so
was the whole decade.
I loved it.
Amazing.
My God, I'm trying to get my daughter to really dive into that little era
Yeah.
right there, but
Yeah.
she's she's into Waylon Wyatt. That's a whole nother story, but
Some cute little boy.
that's from
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Hey, Arkansas's
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
some talented people in it.
Yes, yes. But so let me just give you a little bit of my story too. But so my mom and my father were radio broadcasters.
No way.
And I would spend Saturdays at the radio station with my mom and
Cool.
listening to classic rock, watching her change out the music and being a DJ and all that. So I was just fascinated by it. So then she married my stepdad,
Uh-huh.
and he's a musician, and he also teaches guitar and all of that here locally. So I've very much been surrounded by music.
Yes, you have.
And so anyway, so I've got classic rock background, then I've got the grunge
Awesome.
and all of that, and
Yeah.
then enter Dave.
Yes, enter Dave. And what was it about him? Do you remember? Like, obviously, we know now that his music is very different than all of those that you listed, but like, what was it that you liked about it? Was it that it was so different, or was there something particular that you liked about it?
It was because it was different, and he had so many different elements within his music.
Mhm.
It's jazz, it's a little bit of pop, it's got some, grunge. It can get metally if it's got Tim. It's just, and himself, the way he has such grit in his voice,
Mhm.
and then sometimes he can be so soft.
Mhm.
It's
Yes,
just, it is. It
it
is
is.
it.
Yep. Yep. So your parents were a big part of you learning, of course, who Dave Matthews Band was. And so were they fans? Is that why he handed you the CD? Or was that just kind of like, hey, I thought you might like this?
Yeah, I think I got a lot of my different tastes for different types of music from them. And I
Yeah,
think it was just one more little piece of the puzzle, like,
sure.
hey, I think you might like this. And here I am, almost 40 years later,
Never
still
stopped.
listening to it.
He was
Like,
clearly
thank you.
wrong.
Yeah.
Clearly he was wrong.
Yeah. My mom, her Dave is Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks.
Sure.
And that's whatever Saturday mornings, that was what played in the house was the
Mhm.
Eagles, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. And that's now I can see that with my daughter. I'm playing Dave Matthews all the time to the point where she's like, oh my God, not again.
So
And
tired of it. Yes.
yeah. So it's, the past repeating itself. It's
It
neat.
is. It's crazy how that works. But you know what? I always say to my daughter, who is 15, you never have to love this music. I will never push it on you. However,
Mhm.
I can promise that in many years, when you hear a Dave song in the grocery store, or if it's elevator music by that time, whatever is going on in the future, you're going to always think of me because
Mhm.
I am the one that listened to it all of the time.
Yep.
So there's always going to be a connection, whether she wants it or not.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like it's the same with my child too.
Hmm.
She has, as much as she dislikes it for now, she's made stickers for us. She's made T-shirt designs for us.
Awesome.
Yeah, and his daughter has collaborated on some stuff for us too. So it's neat.
That's awesome. You got your own little like artist to help support
Mhm.
your habits. That's really awesome. I'm going to have to tell my daughter, well, listen to what this mama said. You need to up your game, sister.
Right.
I mean, they help us make bracelets when we
Mhm.
go to the store. I mean, we put them to work.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Wow. So,
Okay.
have you ever had a chance, Taylor, to see Dave Matthews Band and like
Okay.
walk us up to that moment? Because, there is one of the main things people say about this band is, we probably most of us discovered it from an album or on the radio or some kind of recording. It's rare that I hear that someone just goes to a show without knowing about them. But then there is that moment for those of us that have got the pleasure of seeing them in live. There's a lot different about seeing
Mhm.
them live versus hearing them recorded. Take us back to that moment where you were like, I think I want to see them live.
So it was after high school, and I, of course, went with some friends, and it was in Birmingham was my very first show. And I can still to this day remember sitting in the grass, and I swear to you, nobody else was there but me and the band. And I was like, I'm smitten. I never want to go to another live show other than Dave ever again
It was
because it
good.
was the best experience. I saw him again like 2 days later in
No
Atlanta.
way.
Yeah.
No way.
And then it was not until I think it was 2 years, and then I saw him again in 2000, and then didn't see him again for 22 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was a big break.
Yeah. But you know what? That is
But
a very common story for people our ages because life happens, right? It doesn't stop.
Mhm,
Uh, so but you came back to it. And
yeah.
so that's a beautiful thing. But to hear that in your second show, you actually drove, because how far is Atlanta from where you were?
3 hours.
Okay,
It's
so not that
yeah.
bad of a drive, but still, you drove because you
three and
wanted
a
to
half.
see
3,
them
4,
again.
yeah.
3.5
Yeah.
or whatever, how long it
Mhm.
takes.
Well, yeah.
But that's pretty awesome. And so at that point, did you realize that by seeing them the second time, did you think, oh, I'm going to hear the same songs? Because a lot of course, other artists perform the same songs, have the same set
Mhm.
list every show. Were you aware yet that that was not going to be something that happened?
I don't think so. I had seen my very first concert that I'd ever been to in my entire life was the Doobie Brothers, right?
Heck
And
yeah.
then I saw Tesla came here. Um, I can't remember who else had been with them at that time. And then when I was living in Taiwan, I saw I saw some other concerts there too. Um, Debbie Gibson,
Hey.
and I got to meet her. That I
She's
was
got a whole
yeah,
story with that.
yeah. That was
Yes.
I was a huge fan. So I don't think I had much experience with like bands having different set lists at different shows because I hadn't really seen anybody more than once
Once, right.
at that point. So I didn't really know what to expect.
Sure. Sure. And so were you surprised on the second show when it was just you got that many more songs under your belt? And do you remember there being songs that you were like, what the hell is this? I've never heard it before.
Yeah, I probably was like that,
Yeah. So
but I
hard
think
you remember those days,
yeah,
like I'm asking you about lifetimes ago, many, many years ago, and
yeah,
expecting
and
you to be like,
I was into some different things at that point in my life too. So who knows what I was thinking?
yeah, yeah, I get it. Well, Kobe, tell us, like, where was the first time you ever heard of Dave Matthews Band?
I think probably one of my friends in high school probably is the one that brought it to my attention or
Mhm.
started playing it first and it had to be Under the Table and Dreaming. That was definitely the first album. I'm a little bit younger. I graduated in 99, but not that much younger. I
Baby.
think that, yeah, exactly. She loves to hear that too. So,
I married younger, so I'm all about the younger gals. Cheers to that.
Yeah. 2 years, 9 months, 5 days. But who's counting?
Who's counting, right? I mean,
Mine's only 9 months younger than me, but I'm still like, I'm older and wiser than you, baby.
but I've got to, so coincidentally enough, she stated in, when she was telling you about her first show, she said that she went to Birmingham and when she sat in the grass, it was like nobody was there, right? The crazy thing is, I was there too. That was my first show as well. As
No
crazy as
way.
that was, despite her saying that nobody else was there.
But I have one person might have been there.
I know I have
but I didn't know you.
I have a great story for it. So it's right before my senior year, right? So it's the summer before my senior year of high school. And I think it's the day before. So we're all like maybe 10 of us are going to the show and we're going to caravan, right? We're getting all together. We're going to meet at 10 o'clock or something, drive down there and, and there's like 4 or 5 cars. Well, one of my buddies was supposed to meet us at this place. And of course, he's not there and he's running late. And he gets there and he's forgot the tickets. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have to go back to his house, which is not that far away. It's like 15 minutes, but we're now off schedule, right? So now we're rushing a little bit. Well, again, I think it was the first day of school, some places. So we're coming back and there's this giant hill. And at the bottom of the hill is a school bus and it has stopped and it's backed up. I get into a car accident, like 5 cars, right?
No.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm talking, it was bad, right? So, of course, everybody in my car, they come pick him up. My buddy stays with me because now he feels bad, right? And I say, to heck with this. We get the cops, they get everybody there, they tow the car. My car's not drivable, right? I get in the car and we go to the show, right? Because I'm going at this point now, I have to go, right?
Do not stop. Do not collect $200. Go.
And regardless, it was an incredible time. Even though I probably spent the first hour, really trying to get my head straight. But once I got there, it was great. It was, and the rest is history. So it was clearly worth it, but it took a lot to get there that day. I will say that.
Yeah, you were meant to be there. No matter like all the things that were trying to get in your way, you were going to be there.
It was the universe was trying to put a roadblock from the very beginning for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. So, but and then I didn't go. I went to another show in Nashville. That was my second show. I think that was like your third show, right? We kind of flip-flop shows. It's really weird. I think we saw Dave each separately 4 times before our 5th show was together. And then we've seen him all together. Right. Yes.
Wow.
But I saw him in Nashville, and then I went to Atlanta. And when I saw him in Atlanta, it was incredible, right? They played Angel from Montgomery.
Wow.
They played it was like a 18, 17-minute 2-step. It was probably not quite that long, but it was pretty close.
But yeah.
And they played Long Black Veil, right?
Oh yeah.
And so it was awesome. And then I saw him again at Bonnaroo and I saw all kinds of good stuff. Him and everybody was there. It was really good. And then I didn't see him again until we saw him in Huntsville all the way another 20 years later, just like her. It was about 19, 20 years later. So it was pretty crazy. Life, everything else just kind of gets in between. But But he came to Huntsville and that's how the 2 of us ended up going together. We both were Dave fans from SVU. So
we got to back up. We got to hear how you met, all of these things.
This is very important. When we first started, even like talking to each other, we were texting and just joking, and I said, "All right, this is a deal breaker." I said, "Do you like Dave Matthews?" This is a very important question. And very smart man. He said yes. He said, but it followed.
No,
you tried like your exact words were, "I've got more Dave than you do," and I was like, "Oh, hold up."
As it turns out, it was equal. It was equal.
Oh, that's shit.
No, it's 50-50 for sure. For sure. So no. Um,
Tell yourself.
so when we they opened the Orion in Huntsville in the year before, so it was 2022.
Yeah, 22 when we went.
And we went in 23. Dave came to the Orion. It's like a 8,000 seat stadium, but it was really cool, right? And
That's
so it
awesome.
was really nice to see him there.
I found out he was coming while I was at work, and I ran down the hall screaming.
Yes,
Mhm.
and so
I would have done
It's
the same.
expected. Yeah.
and it was, I mean, it was incredible, right? I mean, it was incredible to see him there, and it kind of just started. We left that show saying that wasn't enough. We went
Nashville.
and we went to Nashville that same year, like, within, that was a couple weeks later or something like that.
Still wasn't.
We left that show wanting to drive to Cincinnati the next night, but talked ourselves out of it. And ended up going to Noblesville instead.
We were only going to go for one night. And before we left, we were like, nah, screw that.
We booked Saturday, and then I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
If you're going to drive that way.
Well, if we're going up there, we should go to both.
Mhm.
And so we added it, and that's started a whole. And then after we did that and I booked it, I just decided to go crazy.
He called me one Saturday. He's like, so you want to go to the Gorge? I was like, are you kidding?
Wow. This is all in one year?
All in 1 year, all in 23.
Well, you had a lot of years to catch up on. 20 years without seeing them. You were like, I have some catching up to do.
We went a little bit nuts.
It was go big or go home, and we went big.
Yeah, you did. I'm sure, y'all were listening to them within that 20 years, though, just, here and there and knowing, kind of what's going on and the ins and outs of all the band changes and things that have happened in that 20 years. Because I always say, like, each decade is very separate in the way they sounded and maybe even the way they looked, based on who was on stage. And so you missed some things, but there's never a bad time to get back into it, as long as they're playing. I feel like it's the best time to go is anytime they're playing. And so were there some things that surprised you or that was like, this is different when you went to the shows in 22 versus like back in when you were a little younger?
Well, Tim was not a constant when, back when we saw him early, right? So that's really
a big
awesome.
deal.
Yeah.
I remember that because it was confusing. It was like, why is he here sometimes? And then like I would go and see them and I remember someone going, oh, and Tim Reynolds is going to be there. And I was like, is he not always? Like, what's the deal with this? And so it was a real treat. And then of course, he became part of it. And so, that's a big part of it. It changes the way it sounds.
Oh, absolutely. And so I remember when we saw him in Huntsville and I was looking there, I was like, oh my God.
Real close, right?
That's Tim. It's like, holy shit.
Little did she know. We've been a lot closer since then. But, you were talking about earlier, the different set list and all of that. I think I probably had a not dissimilar experience to her. And when I went to concerts, I probably didn't go to many people repeat without realizing. Now, I realized that Dave was playing different songs every time I went to a different show. But I also went to Family Values Tour and I went to like different concert things where they would play different set lists.
Right.
So I don't think it really registered to me until later on, right? Until we actually started going to the shows again and people started questioning us, like, why would you go? Like, why would you go again? Like, you've already seen them, you guys have seen them, at this point 10 times. Why would you guys go see them again?
Right.
It's like, well, because it's different every time.
Right.
And I think that's when we started realizing and really started paying attention that very few people do that, right? There's very few variation to each show.
Right.
We've seen a lot of people
over the
last few, and all of them, even the ones that vary, it's maybe 3 or 4 songs in different rotations in the playlist, not different songs or different. I mean, the effort he takes and the consideration that he puts into
it's a mad sign.
I mean, every year, right? At the start of it, oh my goodness, he's not changing up the playlist. He's doing the same song. I mean, it's every year people freak out.
It's unbelievable.
It's just funny. It's funny. But it's makes you appreciate it that much more, right? The
That's
older
right.
we get, the more shows we see of other people, the more we appreciate just how much, he cares about us, right?
Huh?
Because he doesn't have to do that. He can go out there and play whatever he wants, and
Right.
we still show up.
Of
Uh,
course.
I mean,
I think
I
so.
mean,
Oh, I'm going to be.
the three of us would. I know that much. So,
I would go if he sang the phone book. I'm notorious
right?
for saying that. Like, I don't care. I don't care. And that might be interesting. Like, how many different ways can you sing all the A names? Let's
Oh
talk
my
about the
gosh.
Z names. Let's go, baby. Let's sing them.
Let's put the Z's and the A's and the B's together.
What am I saying? A phone book? Like, is that even a
Wait,
thing anymore?
I was
I
going
don't
to say,
know.
I don't even know that those exist. The fact is that all three of us just kind of skipped over it. But if you talk to somebody else, you talk to your daughter or our children,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
zero chance they would even understand what
Like,
we're saying.
This is what I have to tell my students. A textbook is not a book that just has text messages. Like it's a book.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I,
Yes.
but they
Yeah.
don't even use those.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway.
I know. It's such a different world. So,
Mhm.
how did y'all like Deer Creek? Of course, that's such a venue that a lot of people
Mhm.
talk about. And of course, being from Alabama, that's kind of a haul going to Indiana
Mhm.
to see them. But Indiana is been kind of a staple for Dave Matthews
Mhm.
Band to go to what was called and what is still called Deer Creek. Now I
Deer
know
Creek.
that officially it's like Ruoff Music Center, but I will never
I don't ever say that.
ever call that, even though it's on the posters. Never going to say that. It's Deer Creek. It
Mhm.
forever will be, I think, to Dave and to the fans because they've just been there so many times doing a weekend. So Friday, Saturday, every time they go. And from what I remember, gosh, it's just been on the calendar every year. From what I, at least as far as I know, it's been on there for a very long time, and people talk it up. Like it's one of the meccas. If you name the top 5 or 10 venues to go to, Deer Creek is always going to make the list. What was it about Deer Creek that y'all were like, wow, this is different?
I think it starts with that. Actually, is that when we started looking at other places to go, like I said, when we left Nashville, we knew we had to go see something else. Like we
Mhm.
weren't done. We needed more. And
Yes.
so we started, and everybody kept saying, go to Deer Creek. Like that's where everybody goes. I mean, all the people are saying it's an awesome venue. So it's not as far as you think. I mean, it's about 6 hours. So
Oh,
it's
that's
an
not
easy,
bad.
it's not a bad trip for
Oh.
us. We break it up. I mean,
Oh
We stay in
yeah,
Kentucky, and I had never been to Kentucky before, and so that was a new
beautiful.
fun place
Or
to go.
parts
Right?
of it
yeah,
are beautiful. Yes.
right. We made a trip out of it, but I think it was everybody else talking about it. And then, so our first year,
Mhm.
we went in, no expectations, no nothing. We just went up
Right.
there. We're like, hey, we're just gonna go have fun.
And we used to
Right.
rent the lawn both nights.
And we did the lawn, and it was awesome.
I
It
love the
was
The
one at Deer Creek.
sunsets are
Yes.
incredible.
it was
Yes.
just it was
And the
just
people.
awesome.
I love being in the lawn because the scenery changes. You're jamming, there's people vibing with you over here, and then the next thing you know, there's different people.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's
We,
so awesome.
we had some people that just came up and started dancing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And I
Yes.
love that. That's the thing I love about Dave shows is everybody's vibing and
Mhm.
like you're all there to just have a good time. And for this, it's just such a good feeling. You look
Yeah.
around and everybody's just happy. And I don't know. I just
Yeah,
love them.
I agree. I haven't seen, and I'm sure that there are, but I haven't seen anybody there that looks like they're there against their will, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like everybody is so happy to be there, and I do agree with that on Deer Creek. It is just a whole different vibe than any other venue I've been
Mm-hmm.
to. The tailgating, is that something that y'all got
Yes.
involved in?
The first year, not so much. Like we were just kind of
we just had a lawn.
wandering
More
around and
prepared,
just
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and we just walked around and we talked to people in line because we got in the merch line and we were it was
Well,
so long and it was so hot, but we had the best time.
man, it was the longest merch line. They they have moved it. If you've been several
Yes.
times, and we've seen you there the last few years, and you've seen they've moved it. That they keep moving it more towards the shade. They're trying to, but it is blistering hot. And we sat there
Mhm.
that first year, not knowing what to do.
But people are passing out water and we
People
met friends
and
that we
people
met
we met friends that first
that we
year that
still talk to. We meet up with them at the Gorge and stuff like that too now too. So
No way.
But after that first year, we did a little bit more tailgating in the last few years. We came a little bit more prepared, right? That was the other thing
Yeah.
that we weren't really prepared for the first year
Yeah.
was,
The heat.
and how not only the heat, but how much people give out stuff and all
Oh,
the
yeah.
swag and all that sort of stuff. It was, I think that kind of opened our eyes to a whole different world too. So
But
It's
the second
wild.
night was the night that they had to
the second night,
with that
right,
Halloween.
our first year of Deer Creek was the night that they canceled or they stopped the show for the lightning. And we ended with Halloween. They only played like 17 songs. So they went crazy because the rain was coming. And we got out of there like 20 minutes before the whole thing.
Dave said, we're gonna play until they kick us off the stage. And I was like,
Heck
hell yeah.
Heck yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And they were all in.
It was good. But after that, I mean, we've gone every year since then. It's kind of a staple now. There's
It
no way that
is.
I mean, we were talking about trying to switch something out, but it's hard to take that one off the list.
I know, it really is. And just geographically where you are, all the other 2-night shows are a lot further away than Indiana is. And so, man, it's just a great one. And for those of you that are listening, if you're looking for a new venue this year that you haven't been to, definitely check out the dates for Deer Creek. It's a solid 2-day show. And you're going to be there with people that love this band. It reminds me, and of course, the whole Dave Matthews Band scene, as far as concerts go, remind me of college football. We're out there, we're tailgating, we're cooking, we're making food, we're passing out swag, we're not calling the hogs or whatever y'all do in Alabama, but we are singing the songs out in the parking lot and people are playing their guitars, and it's so cool just to walk around and look and meet people from all over the world and just realize, wow, we're all here. We're all happy. We're all getting along because of this music. And it's such a beautiful thing. Someone said on my show once upon a time, when you're trying to explain seeing Dave and going and going and going to see Dave, why do you do that? Kind of like what you said, people questioning, like, why would you go see them 10 times or something like that? And so she did compare it to football. So she was like, it's no different than traveling to see your favorite team, except for us, we win every single time. And I was like, that's it. That's it. It's like a game and we're all rooting for the same team and we win every single time we show up, right?
Well, most everybody views it that way. There are a few I see that are complaining about songs that they didn't get or whatever. But for the vast majority of us, we win every time if you go with no expectations on the rest of that. But those,
Right.
but
At
you
this
can
point,
never
we
make
should
everybody happy. That's
No,
impossible.
you can never, but I just always go in with a mindset, and I try to keep this like always at the top of my mind. I'm celebrating the fact that they're even showing up and
Oh,
being on
absolutely.
stage. At this point, we should just be impressed and excited that they're deciding to do it for another time, because one day that's not going to happen. And so cherish every single time. And every time you hear the song that you're like, why is he playing it again? You know what? It might be the last time you ever hear it. So cherish it, lock in and cherish it, right? Because you're going to remember that day whenever it happens. And, I'm not being a Debbie Downer, but like one day it will. And I just try to keep that at the top of my mind is, what if this is the last time? I'm going to love every song that everyone says I am tired of hearing. Well, I got to hear it one more time. And that's a beautiful thing.
And there are times like, I've had that where it's like, oh gosh, it's this, particular song. But then, if I stop and I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, why is he playing this song?
Right.
Think about why did he pick this particular song? What's going on in the world right now that made him pick this song? Like,
Right.
don't drink the water
Yeah.
became that song for me for a little while. And and then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, I don't want to get too much into that, but that song has stuck out to me more recently.
Really?
Yeah.
I laugh about that song because, and I won't get into it either, but so many people are going, since when does Dave Matthews become political? I'm like, have you ever listened to his music before? Hello,
Apparently
it's been
not.
around for decades.
Yeah. I think I saw that same post somewhere.
You've not been listening.
Yeah, no.
I will say this. I'm still going to probably go pee during satellite. I don't care. I'm going to go
That's
do it every
okay.
time.
Hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, you gotta do it. You got.
But that one time he got you with the satellite.
He did. He got me. Oh man, he got me with a satellite take at Deer Creek, and it was.
Oh, I've heard about
excellent.
that. People started running back.
Yeah.
It was. I was ready to go. I was like, no, really? And then he faked us, and he taught me a lesson. So now I don't
think he
leave no
does
matter
that
what.
on
It doesn't
purpose.
matter.
Like, watch these son of a bitches. Oh, going to the bathroom
Yeah,
right now. Let me play it for a minute or two and then watch them run. I mean, I know that they have to also be entertained themselves.
absolutely.
And they probably get so much entertainment just from watching us, you know, and like the weird things that we do, the things we yell, the times we think we're going to the bathroom, but they end up running back to the lawn. Like, you know, there was just a herd of people running back and he was just up there giggling or something, you know, or at least in my mind, that's what I want to say he was doing was
the twisted games that he played.
We know
exactly.
We know Buddy enjoys it. We've seen plenty of him interacting with the fans. We know that he gets a kick out of it.
So we got to be in the pit for when was the first time? It was at Deer Creek.
It was at Deer Creek last year, right? No, 2 years ago. No, I don't know. Anyway, maybe 2 years ago. I think it was. Yes, exactly. But we got to be in the pit for the first time. We had not been in the pit.
Yeah, how was that?
I had not had. We had never been in the pit before, and so I had not had that feeling since the time that I saw him for the first time, and it was.
She didn't speak for 3 songs. She just
You
sat
were the
there.
only person in the room besides the band.
Martha gave just.
He wasn't even on the stage yet, and all I could do was stare at the microphone.
You're just waiting, like I know what's happening.
Oh my God, the heavens have opened up.
I like that you have the ability to do that though, because the pit's tricky. It's tricky. It's wonderful, of course. However, there's some hard things that come along with it. Number one, you have to stand forever. And you have very close quarters with a lot of people, depending on the venue that you're in. Sometimes they just pack those pits so full that you've got people just like what feels like people on people, and you're just touching everyone. And so, you know, it's easy to have a bad experience at the pit because there could be a fight right next to you, or there could be this lady that just won't shut up, or whatever, you know. Yes, anything. And so for you to be able to just block it all out and zone in, that was really good.
Oh, it was quite
well,
fantastic.
Some of the trick is that you got to make friends with people in the pit.
Oh,
that's
you do.
If you're going to do that, you got to make friends with your people around you. And
we have made some really good friends.
We made some really great friends that we still talk to, right, from pit people. The difference in pit is, and we've talked about it because we go back and forth, right? It's hard because you're so close, and it's such an intimate experience with Dave and the band and everything, and you feel like that there's nothing else there, right?
Right.
But you're right. It's the day of. It's more stressful. It's go. You're standing. It's the relax of it drifts away when you start doing that. So you kind of, got to find a balance in it, right? It's 100% go mode from 10 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yep, gotta get in line. Gotta do all the things.
Are you checking the email? Are you first entry? Are you going to get there? Are you going to, right?
Right. Exactly. Because it gets hot and sweaty. Like we're talking Deer Creek in the middle of the summer. It's already hot.
Oh my gosh.
And
so
you're sweaty.
Last year we were in the pit in Deer Creek, when they had it in July. Yeah.
It was.
Oh, the corn sweats are a real thing. Like I thought this was like an imaginary, don't come type thing. Just no, it's for real.
It's real.
Yeah.
It was.
You had to have some chicken fingers stat.
It gets rough there for sure. So, but again, you learn, and you have to. But it takes a lot more preparation and forethought if you're going to do it and survive it and have a good experience.
Yeah, we're here to tell the story still. So
yes, exactly. Yes. And we would still do it again. We still go to the pit. We don't do it every time. I don't think anymore.
No, I couldn't.
I miss the lawn. I do want to go back to the lawn.
There is something nice about being, I love it all. Again, just being there is good enough for me. I can be in the back of the lawn. As long as I can see a screen, I am good. I have been to one show, and it was my fault for just not getting there early enough because I was having too much fun. I get there and I can't even see a screen. So I'm there, I'm just hearing it. And I was like, oh my God, I've paid all this money and I don't even get to see them. that kind of sucked. So you do have to learn the game a little
Yeah.
bit, like even if you're going to be on the line, you've got to prepare and get your spot. And
Mhm.
I have friends that will be the runners. Like when the gates open, you go and you run to the lawn and you get your
Mhm.
spot so that your crew knows where to get and you have this designated spot at the rail of the lawn or whatever. But there's something cool about being on the lawn because not only are you getting to be entertained by the show and you can still see and all of that, but like you get to see all of the people and the reactions and the people dancing and losing their mind or finding their soul.
Yeah.
It's so good to see all of that. So
Mhm.
there's just not a bad seat. I think the experience is, I'd like to say everybody should try each
Yes.
at least once at a show because they're all very different and they all have positives and they all have negatives, right? But
Mhm.
I don't mean negatives. I mean like maybe
Well, they're
minor
differences.
inconveniences,
They're different. It's
Yeah.
just a
Right.
different experience at each level,
Yeah.
right? No matter
Right.
where you're
Right.
at, you're gonna get a different experience with the people around you, with the band, with the music, with everything.
Well, it's
Right.
like going
Right.
to a restaurant, you don't wanna always eat the same thing, you wanna try different things.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So talk to me about how the experience is different going alone with your girlfriends or your guy friends, and then now you're going to these shows together. How has that changed y'all's experience? Because there is something to be said about being with someone that you have a relationship with that also has a love and a passion for that band as well. It really does kind of heighten your experience. Is that what
Mhm.
y'all have found going together to these shows?
I think so.
Well, I mean, here's the
Oh,
thing.
well.
Her ear is incredible. So you can't get 3 notes in before she knows the song.
Ooh, I
So
like that.
so I know what's coming immediately, and
Yeah,
it's
she doesn't give you a
already.
chance.
No, no. So, like, no, I gave up on that, like, 2 shows in. I gave up even trying to figure out what it was before
You're
her,
sweet.
you know? Well, and I mean, the best thing is so we went to the Gorge this past year, right?
Mhm.
And, obviously, everybody's aware they played the second night, they played the full album, right?
Yes.
And so, we're listening to it and they're going through it. And, of course, she's recognizing the songs and saying them. But there's this guy behind us and he's nailing them, right? And he's beating her every
Oh,
time he's nailing the songs. And I'm like, what is going on here? It took me 5 songs to pick up that he was going through the whole album, right?
right.
She's recognizing the songs, but we're not putting it together. But it was the guy behind me being able to nail them before her that tuned me into something is off here. Something is really and it made me start paying attention. Is
Right.
the only reason I recognized it, because I've seen all kinds of other people that they didn't recognize it till after the show or the next
Right.
day or,
Right.
you know, but because of her, I was able to, it was like the 5th song. I was like, all right, no way this guy has nailed all 5 songs immediately before you can even call him.
So he must
So, but
either he was really, really good or he knew
he
like,
had,
oh shit, this song comes after this song on the record. So it's gotta be we're doing this game or whatever.
he figured it out. I don't know
It was
how,
awesome.
but
Like, and then it was just like immediate full body chills. I was like,
Ooh.
"Holy
When I
shit."
heard about it, I got chills. I wasn't even
Like,
there, but
I've
when
got
I
them, like, right
heard
now. Like, it's
it was
insane.
it was awesome. That was that yeah, well, and then once you figured it out, it was like, "Wait a second, we're in the middle of something crazy
But
here."
the
history.
American when he did ABI, and I was
No,
like
American Baby, the
I was
full
like, "Come on,
yes.
have to do it. Like, please do this for me." And then he played. I was like, "Oh,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
dead."
She
Dreams
she
are
had
coming
been
true.
she literally called that one on Friday.
Yeah,
She
that was
she put that one and that one was coming.
yeah, I was done. Like,
She's
Wow. So was
she
that y'all's
she
first year at the Gorge or your second time?
that was our 3rd.
That was your third time. So let's go back to the very first time because I like to talk about venues, right? Because
Mhm.
other fans are listening to this podcast and there's a lot of people that have still not made it out to the Gorge. It's on where you live. It's a massive undertaking.
Mhm.
It's not only a
The
big
pilgrimage.
trip, but yes, it is such a pilgrimage to not, you get to the airport or you drive, whatever. Then you have the pilgrimage from there to where the Gorge is. And then once you get out there, you have like no resources, basically, is what
Mhm.
it feels like, you're stranded on a desert island with Dave Matthews Band, and some people, but it's a great place to be.
Which is
But like,
which is a selling point right there, right?
I just
Enough
sold it,
sold
right?
right there.
Yep. Sign me up.
Yes. What did y'all think about it? And was it everything you hoped and dreamed? I'm sure it was more, but walk us through your first Gorge trip.
Well, like in 23, we just kind of went nuts, and I just decided we're gonna do it all. We're gonna go. We had no idea what to expect, right?
Right.
Everybody says when you start planning the trip to the Gorge, right? Everybody wants to offer some suggestions because
Sure.
this
Sure.
is, like you said, this is the Mecca, right?
And we decided this in May.
No, we decided it in June, I
Okay.
think, is when we decided we
Holy
were gonna go.
moly. So last
Yeah,
minute preparations.
yeah, yes.
Oh my
We were
goodness.
just kind of crazy and just said, well, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Just well,
yeah,
Was
it
it
worked.
a typical situation for you guys?
sometimes we've gotten a little bit better about planning. So
Now that we know that we're going, it's on the agenda.
yeah.
But regardless, so once we did that, the whole experience with the Gorge, and it is 1000% true. Everybody says, but they all say when you go in, go up the hill, go left, go up the hill, go take in the experience. I don't think we had any idea what to expect that first year going in and when we saw that, it was kind of like everything else from that point on was 100%, gravy. It didn't matter. Nothing else.
Yeah.
It was all a bonus from that point on.
Right.
And it was pretty incredible. And then of course it just kept getting better. I mean, the shows were awesome, and I ended up getting Long Black Veil, which I hadn't heard since 1999. So
Wow.
it was pretty incredible. It left me speechless. The third night, I think I was quiet for a good 30 minutes and I couldn't even talk. So, which is,
I
as you
remember
guys
that
can
night.
tell, hard for me to do. So
2023 was also my first and only time to be at the Gorge so far. So I remember Long Black Veil very well, third night. And the wind was whipping that night. I don't know if you
Oh my
remember,
gosh.
but it was
Mhm.
whipping in a way that made that song magical in a way. Like
Mhm.
it added to
Oh my
the
gosh.
song. And just thinking about it, that all of it was great, but third night was pretty awesome.
Mhm. It was very made it mysterious and just
Yeah.
something was
Yeah.
just kind of lingering in the air with that song when it was there. It
Right.
was really
It
and
was.
they really tricked us too because we didn't bring our jackets and we ended up having to buy sweatshirts too because it was
Yep.
Right.
cold. So
I think
because
that's a
the 2
marketing
nights
tactic.
before it was super warm and it was
Yeah.
but
They never have
again,
sweatshirts until it gets cold, and then all of a sudden they whip them out and go, "They're $85. Don't you wanna keep
Yeah.
warm?" Oh, shit. Yes, I do.
We saved it just for you.
Yes. Smart.
Yep, newbies, yep,
Yeah.
they got us.
Yes, but
Yes.
now we bring them just in case.
Now we
You
know
never
that.
know.
Again, these are the lessons. But you said if you're going to go to any venue, I mean, Deer Creek is amazing. It was incredible. It's an experience that you should do.
Absolutely, 100%.
But there is nothing that
Follow-
replaces the Gorge. There's just nothing that replaces it at all. No matter what any of us say, it does not do it justice. It just doesn't.
Right.
I mean, it
Right.
really doesn't. To see it, to be able to see them overlooking that area is just
That is where
humbling.
I
Kind of-
feel,
Yes.
and I've told you this too, is like that's the end of our tour season, but it's where I feel like afterwards I feel the most recharged and ready to just like kind of go back home and deal with life.
Yeah.
Not deal with it, but
Yeah.
just be more prepared and
Right.
centered and ready to just
You're
go.
full. Your cup is full after that, so you're ready to pour into other people.
Because there's all that peace and just nature and everything there. And it's like, it really puts everything into perspective.
Right, right. Now there's a lot of ways you can do the Gorge, of course, and if you're listening to this and you've never been, or if you have been, then you'll understand all this. But one of the tricky things about going to the Gorge is figuring out, well, where am I going to stay? How am I going to stay? Because there's so many different levels of ways you can do it, and so that makes everyone's experience very different. You can go from anything to tent camping to sleeping in your car, getting an RV, sleeping in a uh, TP type thing, if that's what you want to call it, the fancy little things that they set up for you. Or you can stay in a hotel and drive in and out. There's so many different ways to do it. Have y'all done it the same way every time y'all gone back, or have you kind of switched it up?
We've kept it pretty much the same. We've actually stayed in the same Airbnb every year that we've been.
Awesome.
Changing it up this year.
Yeah, we're going to switch this year, but
But
we stay
but
in Wenatchee.
we stay in Wenatchee, so we stay like an
Okay.
hour away.
Yeah.
But
We've only changed a couple of things, and it's just what we do prior to. But yeah, we stay in Wenatchee. We take the I'm sorry.
they have like a whole shuttle that takes you there. No, I mean it's awesome that we found it our first year. That
We almost didn't find it after one show, but that's a whole nother story. But
first show was a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
You know, when
it was real.
anybody that's been to the Gorge knows that when you're coming out of the Gorge, there's like all these different corridors that send you off in different directions, and we were excited. Everybody was singing. We
Yeah,
all
so
just
fun.
caught up in it. We ended up like 20 minutes away, and the bus driver was not happy. But
he waited for us.
Well, thank God.
he did.
Right?
He did. The people on the bus were not thrilled.
And bring a blanket and a pillow.
But anyway, they have a whole shuttle that'll pick you up at a train station, take you up there to the Gorge, pick you up after the show, and take you back, so you don't have to drive up and down that crazy.
That is awesome.
And
And
so
you can leave snacks.
party
lunch,
bus,
all that stuff.
yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah, it's super nice.
That's
yes,
really great
yeah.
because I've thought about doing that maybe in the future, but then just, worrying about parking. And so that kind of eliminates
Yeah.
all of that. You're just shuttled in and shuttled out, which is
Yep.
drive in, drive out, right? Like it just sits
Exactly.
there and comes right back out.
Yep.
And you have the safety net of like sleeping in a bed, of having electricity, because those are some
shower.
tough things for me to get
Shower
through.
is the important one.
Yes.
Because I well,
You like
I
what?
always feel I need to like shower after a show because I just feel like
Yes.
I've been through it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And
yeah.
showers
Sorry,
are
it's
there,
already
but
a
they're
warm
just
shower.
different. They're just different. I like having a hotel, like I'm not a camper. I
No, we aren't
tried
either.
it. I've reached that age where I feel like I need a solid bed and I need, a certain comfort level,
Yes.
at
Yeah.
this age. And it's just because I'm not 20 anymore. I'm sure
No,
at
and
20 I would have been like fine out in general whatever in a tent. Like I'm sure that would have
Yeah.
been really fun, but that's
I
not the
can't do
life
it
I'm
either.
living anymore.
Me neither.
Well, if I sleep in my car on Friday night at the Gorge, I'm not making it out of the car for Saturday and Sunday. So,
Nope.
my back is not going to allow it. So no. And we like an Airbnb because we'll like to have a little bit of space and all the rest of that.
Yes.
Be able to maybe check in early sometimes or whatever, depending on flights. But
Sure.
I mean, we the one time we got the pit at the Gorge, we had the shuttle. We were staying in Wenatchee, and so we had to scramble and get the parking and all of that. It can still be done. Okay, I mean, we made it back, and it was. I don't think you could do it 3 nights in a row. And
Yeah.
That was the night I had to do trivia questions for you in the car.
yeah, she
To
was
keep
doing
you
trivia
up.
on the way home to keep me awake because it was But I don't think I think that's the other thing I don't think most people understand with some of these shows is it's a stamina thing, right? I mean,
gosh, yes.
you go all out on Friday night and you will regret it.
Yeah. Yeah, you might not be so spunky for Saturday and Sunday.
No, you might really want that seat that night.
Exactly. But the Gorge is beautiful. I'm glad that y'all got to do that a couple of times. And hopefully, are y'all planning on going back? Is that
Yeah,
something
this
that's
will be our
still on
first.
the list? Oh, so you're
It is.
going. You've signed up. You're ready.
Honestly, it's hard to take it off. I mean, it's just sort of one of those things, like you said, I mean, we're fortunate that we're still getting to see, somebody that we love play. And as long as that's going on, you might as well max it out is the way I
That's
look
right.
at it. So,
That's right. Do it while
because
you
we're not going to be
can.
able to turn around and go back and do it. So,
No.
That's right. That's right. So what else do y'all have at least planned for 2026?
well, we've talked about going to Atlanta and Charlotte.
Charlotte, not Charleston.
Not
I don't know. Just
She keeps saying Charleston. It's Charlotte. And then we're going back to Deer Creek and the Gorge. And that'll put us at 30 for our
Wow.
total. So
Wow.
Put 25 together.
25
I
together.
know that's the number that really is awesome, right? Like most
Yeah.
of your shows, like you said, have been together, and that makes a great story, a really great story. And I come from a similar background where I had gone before I met my husband, and then he's part of it now. We still do or I still do go to shows without him because not always do our schedules sync up exactly the same, but we love to go together, and that just makes my experience like completely different when he's
Mhm.
there. Just to have, the guy that knows me best there to help me out. It's just really nice. And so I always miss it when he's not there with me, but it is so completely different when the one you love is with you. And so I'm excited that y'all got to travel so much together. It makes such a big difference. And
For
it
sure.
is a thing that so many couples go together to, and that's really lovely to get to see, even if it's couples that maybe one of them isn't really into the band, but they understand how important it is for the other person, they still
Mhm.
go. And I love seeing that balance there of like giving and taking, like, okay, this is not my favorite band, but I know you love it, so I'm going to go and I'm going to support you and meet all these people who will not talk about anything except for Dave Matthews Band the whole weekend, right? Because you're aware that we do that, right?
Yes.
That's the best. I mean, that's literally the best part is talking to all the people when you're standing there and you're doing all that stuff, hearing their story. Like we said, there's probably at least, I don't know, 6 or 7 different couples that we've met that we still talk to, that we've been able to hear their stories, standing in line, just standing in the first entry line, standing with a couple. We've sat with them, I think, 3 times now
Mhm.
at the pit, and been able to see them and just like,
We were
hey
walking.
guys, how are y'all? Where have y'all been?
Right.
Checking up on things.
We remember we were walking to our seats and we heard somebody yell, "Kobe!" And we turned around and it was them. We're like, "Oh my god!"
Yep,
Isn't
yep.
it
So
crazy
I
you
mean,
can be so many places in the United States and run into the same people
Mhm.
over and over? That amazes me.
Yes.
Amazes me.
Dave is right, right? I mean, it's the same 35,000 people
Yes.
there to every show, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I've never doubted it, but I'm really starting to see that now. Like, oh, okay, they really are at every single show. And I don't
Yep.
know how they made that happen, but yay, I am
Yeah, I'm
excited
so
for
happy.
you.
I'm so glad to live in a time and in a space where they exist. Like, I'm just thankful for
Yes.
that.
Me too. Me too. Because who knows, will our children have that? I
I
don't
hope
I don't
so.
know. I don't know. I hope that they do, but like we've come from a past where there was always a band, that obviously there were bands before Dave Matthews Band, and there still are current bands, Fish and others that have such massive followings and go to so many shows, and they've been doing it for years and years. But I think Dave Matthews Band in particularly, especially when we say 35 years, that floors people. I just talked with
Mhm.
someone earlier today, kid you not, they were surprised that Dave Matthews was still alive. I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa.
Don't talk like that.
We've missed a lot of stuff here. Yes, he's very alive, and yes, they're still playing and never have stopped." And they're just like, "What? Like from the
Nope.
90s? 90s wasn't that long ago. Like I know it sounds like it was in the 1900s, but it wasn't that long ago. Like we're not old people here. We're
No.
not old." And so it doesn't sound crazy, but I guess just in the idea of music, 35 years as a band is not something you creep up on a regular basis, right?
No,
A
not
lot of
really.
bands don't last long at all. They're a blink, they have their moments and then they gone. This band has just figured out how to always capture our attention, and I think that's something that has made it work, right? Is they're so into what we need and what we want, and they're always trying, even now, to present us with new ways to hear their music, new ways to see their music, new ways to experience their music, and I am just so grateful for that because they're still trying, and that means everything for me because we're definitely still trying, and so to see
Mhm.
it be on both sides, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just constant evolution. Again, that's the whole thing with the set list, right? The change of
Yeah.
that. He's constantly trying to reinvent something, recapture his audience, do
Yes.
something to, I mean, it's got to be good for the band too,
Oh, I
right?
think so.
I mean, to not know what you're playing necessarily until you get out there, to have some difference, to be able to
Right.
bring some variation, it highlights some of them better. Each song's different, right? So I think that's the benefit and kind of a testament to why they're still around, right?
Yes, I
Well,
agree.
and just like I think we said this earlier, but like he's a mastermind. I mean, he's a mad scientist and he knows how to weave in certain things and loop things together and all of that to just kind of create this space, create this mood within
Yes.
his, you know. for all of
Yes.
us, and it works.
It does. It continues to work, and I think as long as they're still doing it, there will always be such a following. I've
Mhm.
not talked to a person yet that's like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep listening. I don't know if I'm gonna keep traveling. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard that yet, and I'm sure that there are
No.
people out in the world saying that, but that is not something I hear often. So we're just so thankful to, first of all, be alive at the same time as Dave Matthews Band, but so thankful that they are so into doing what they do. They enjoy what they do. They don't have to be doing this any longer. It's not for money. There's nothing in me that believes that they are doing this for money because I'm sure they're well off. I'm
Mhm.
sure they've got it all taken care of. I think they're still doing this because they want to, and they know that they still have fans that are just married to them, for lack of a better, like we're in a relationship with them, and
Mhm.
we break up, there's gonna need to be therapy groups, you know? It's like not a divorce, but like, "Wait a second, we're not gonna see each other anymore? I'm not
I
gonna
need
handle
help.
that well."
Yeah, I'm gonna be well on for that. Well, I will not be okay.
The only saving
Oh,
grace is that Dave could not sit still. So there's no way that he would ever. I mean, he's never going to
I don't think
stop. He
so.
can't. He can't sit still. I mean, when they take a break, he's playing by himself or
yeah.
playing
Yeah,
somewhere else,
yeah,
or whatever. That's the only. We're fortunate that he loves it as much as we do too. Is what it seems
exactly.
like.
Mhm.
Exactly, and it's such a comforting thing to realize that. So, guys, as we're closing up this episode, I wanna ask each of you a question, and you can think about who you can go first, whoever wants to go first, but what is the reason, if you had to name, like, a single reason or a couple of reasons, why are you continuing to still see this band when you've probably seen most of every song that you wanted live? You've probably been to a lot of venues that you wanted to see them in. Why do you continue this journey with this music?
Oh,
What's
that's
your
good.
why?
Um, wow. Well, I mean, it's kind of like immediate thought is like you said, it is a relationship. It is a relationship that I've had now for over 30 years.
Yep.
That's been the one constant, right?
Yes.
Is that music. And it's been there for a lot of stages in my life. I mean, it continues to be there.
Mhm.
And, there were songs that meant different things to me when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s and 30s, and now in my 40s. And it kind of changes and adapts with me.
I agree.
So
I agree.
it's just part of who I am too.
Yes, I agree.
Well, and I think not only that, having seen so many of them, right? We have gotten past that whole chasing a song or, we're now to the point where we're going to just enjoy the experience. And I think that's why I still want to go because now it's, I don't want to say stress, but it's not, there's no, not expectation. There's nothing. It's just literally going to go immerse yourself in experience and lose yourself for a little bit, right? And
Yes,
just
yes.
enjoy the music without being concerned. You hear the people around, "Oh, I wanna hear this." I don't I don't care, right? That
Right,
I've
right.
gotten to that point where I'm no longer concerned, and I think that's actually a really fun experience, right? It's actually pretty
Yeah,
enjoyable. It's a whole different mindset in going to shows now.
absolutely.
That's
I
just
agree
one of
with
my
both of you.
favorite places. So I don't know. I
It's
always
a
want to
happy
be there.
place. It's a happy
Mhm.
place. Yeah, and it always seems for me like, these shows maybe, 2.5, 3 hours, typically, and it always seems like it's about 5 minutes for me. I don't know if
Mhm.
y'all share in that, but I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. How have 2 hours passed by when I swear I just got here?" It just goes by so
Mhm.
quickly, and no matter where I've seen them, no matter how many songs are on the set list, it always goes by so quickly, and so, for me, that kind of, like, keeps pushing me to go, well, kinda like y'all said, I don't have enough. It doesn't feel like I'm done yet. There's that constant urgency to keep seeing them because
Mhm.
I never know what they're going to do, and I love the chase of that. I love the unknown. How are they gonna twist it up? How are they gonna fit a fake in this time. I always call 2023 the year of the fake, because Deer Creek is when, he kind of started doing that. And I was like, oh, you little tricky, I see what you're doing. And now this has become a thing, and so, they just keep throwing those little things into the fire. And I'm just like, wow, what's next? And I want to be there for that. And so I'm just so thankful that I'm here at this time. And I'm so thankful that you guys have come on the show to share your journey with this band, because I hear that this just means so much to you guys, and you have lived your life through this music, and it is like the soundtrack of your life as well, right? We can think back almost as far as old as we are old, and there's always Dave in the background. I was 11 when the band started. So they've literally been around almost as long as I've been alive. And it's the longest relationship I've ever been in, except for my parents, right? I've never been in a relationship longer than with Dave Matthews Band, other than just, my parents. And so that speaks a lot, right? That speaks a lot when you think about it in that way, is wow, they've just been in my life for so long. It's not something that I can just leave. They're part of me now. And I think that the band realizes that. I think that we've screamed that very loudly from the concert venues or from online. And I know the band has people online that are very in tune with what the crowd is saying, what the fans are saying. And I know that they know what this means to us. And so, maybe there's some small account of maybe that's why they continue, is because they understand that this is so meaningful for so many people. And so I like to dream in that way, that, they're doing it for themselves, but they're also doing it for us, because we really see ourselves in more than just loving a band or loving music. It's loving the whole relationship that we are in. And it very much feels like that too. It's like we know enough to really call it a relationship, right? We've reached that level to where we're like, no, we know a few things. I'm not a pro, but like I am not a newbie by any means. And so thank you guys for sharing this. I love y'all's story. I always love it when two people find each other and end up loving the same band, because that is not always the story. It is not always the way it goes. And so you guys have really
always been our story.
No, it hasn't always been ours either.
Separate.
But
it's worked out for you guys. So again, thank you so much. And if you are listening to this on a podcast app or watching this on YouTube, if you are interested in sharing your journey, you're invited to do that. There's no prerequisite other than just loving this band, whether you've seen them live or you've just listened to their music at home. Every fan is welcome on this show. So I invite you. You can just simply send an email, which is in the show links, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it's on the screen now. Just send me an email and say, hey, I'd love to be on the show. And it's just as easy as scheduling you. So I invite you to do that. This show doesn't continue unless more people come forward to share their journey. I've shared mine. They've shared theirs now. And so it is your turn. So think about it. Plan. I know you guys were a little nervous, but if you could give some insight to future people that are thinking about it, was it, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but like, was it as bad as what you thought it might be like? Was it a little easier than what you thought?
Way worse. Way worse.
Don't listen to him.
It's because I'm from Arkansas, right? Is that what you're, that's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. Arkansas and Alabama are pretty big rivals, if you don't know that.
Oh my God.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
It's just speaking about our love. There's the love for this band and love for, going for live music and all of that. There's really no pressure. Everybody should do it. It's fun. And I think, like you said, it reaches out and maybe it attracts some new people. Some of our children, maybe they will capture some of them too, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. Well, guys, if you're interested, again, send the email. Again, it's in the show notes or across your screen right now. But stay tuned. You never know who's going to be next on the show. We are in the now, which means over 200 people have been on the show to share their journey of why they love this music. So again, I invite you to come on. Follow me on all the socials. I'm on everything. That way you can see who's upcoming. Again, you just never know. I had Jake Simpson on the show, and one might wonder, like, why was he on the show? Guess what? He was a fan of Dave Matthews Band before he was ever famous. So you've got to check into that episode. Every episode is completely different. If you find one that you don't like or that you're not connecting with, guess what? Turn it off and skip to another one. They're all very different. They stand alone, so you don't have to start at episode 1. You can start at episode 200 and be just fine. They're all very different. So guys, until the next time, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.